Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Looks like it's working now. Great. Welcome in, everyone. Today we're talking about 10 things that you can do to become a grown woman, to feel like a grown woman, to be seen as a grown woman, to be received as a grown woman. And this has been quite a journey for me because I thought automatically turning 18 or 21 or whatever rite of passage was going to make me an instant grown woman. But one of the things that I've learned in my studies at university and just my, you guys know how I am. When I learn something, I have to get the full PhD in it, is that there's always been rites of passages for people, in our evolutionary history. We've always had certain things that we've had to overcome or move through or go through to be considered that thing that we desire to be. That's just always how it's been. Very much so for men. Like, this could be more true for men, but it's for women as well. And we have some of these things left, remnants of it, but not quite in the same way. When we've studied tribes, evolutionary biologists have studied this for going back thousands of years. We found that there were really important rituals and rites of passages that we needed to have. And I think that that's so much lost in today's culture and the way that we grow up now. I've experienced a little bit of this from my grandmother when my parents would send me back home to their country, and I would get to learn certain things, and learn certain things would be passed down to me. But overall, this is lost. We no longer have our moms and grandmothers and aunts sitting us down and helping us go through these different phases. And so we're left kind of like, there you are, you're grown now, off you go kind of thing, but we feel very much lost. So I made some notes here of 10 things that I believe, I think this list can be longer, but I think that these 10 things, when I mastered these things, when I had control over these things, I felt like a grown woman. And I was also received as a grown woman from others. So that's what I want to talk about today. Number one on this list, and these are not in any particular order, but number one on this list is how to set boundaries. I didn't know where I ended and other people began, or where they ended and I began. And so I spent a lot of my life complaining about other people not having, well, first of all, I didn't even know that word. Let's just be honest. I didn't even know what boundaries meant. But when I did know what boundaries meant, I spent a lot of time complaining about other people not upholding my boundaries, not realizing that I actually didn't have any boundaries. Other people are not supposed to uphold your boundaries for you. They're for you. They're for you to know where you end and other people begin. So that was quite a journey for me to learn how to embrace grown woman boundaries. None of these things, I know a lot of times when you watch this kind of content, like top 5, 7, 10, whatever it is, what the basic babe and self-aware Barbies tend to do is they will make a list of that information and say, okay, I got it. And then they'll run off and then nothing. Information is not embodiment. So this didn't happen for me when I knew the information. This happened for me when I embodied this. It became a part of me. It activated certain DNA codes. Like, it was me. Me and this thing could not be separated. It could not even be seen as separate. It was just one. So this isn't something that you say, oh, okay, that's Mina's list. Now I get it. You don't get it. You get it when you get it in your body, when that becomes a form of your normal way of being, embodying, and way of engaging in the world. So number one is grown woman must knows, must masters, must embodies is how to set boundaries. And this isn't about having difficult conversations with people. The funny thing about boundaries is when I didn't have any boundaries, I had to communicate them with people. The minute that I started actually setting energetic boundaries within myself and with myself, I no longer had to communicate a boundary. I haven't had to communicate a boundary in years with anyone, because when you are no longer energetically available for certain things, people can sense that quite loud and clear. No communication necessary. The communication is between you and between you and the universe. It's never between another human being. Number 2 thing that grown women must learn to embody is how to think for yourself. And I credit this a lot to my schooling. The schools that I went to, the university that I went to, they were big on teaching you how to think for yourself, not just becoming a part of the masses, not just believing everything you read or hear or whatever. Really being able to think for yourself and say, does this work for me? Does this make sense for me? Does this resonate for me? Is there something else in my experience that this mirrors or is similar to whatever? But being able to think for yourself. This is something that my husband and I like set as one of our biggest values, something that we teach our kids. We ask certain questions when our kids will come and say, oh, we saw so-and-so such and such thing on YouTube, or so-and-so said this. And we'll prompt certain questions to get them to think for themselves if that thing resonates with them, not with us, but with them. Okay. So grown woman embodiment number 2, how to make decisions for yourself. What you guys are saying. Love it. Mina, what is the rite of passage that actually makes a girl a woman? So these 10 things that I'm talking about, once you embody these, that was for me. And this is what I've seen. This is how I receive other grown women. And this is how other people now started seeing me as a grown woman versus just a child in a grown woman's body, right? And someone said having a child makes you into a girl into a woman. This couldn't be further from the truth. I know many grown up, mothers that are not grown up. Like they still behave like basic babes. So no, I wish that was so, because the child definitely needs that, but no. And I actually learned a lot of these after I had my kids too. So just kind of how life happened. So number 2, make decisions and think for yourself. So when you learn to think for yourself, what you desire, what you want, what resonates with you, where you're headed, it's easier to make decisions because you know what your core values are. You know if that thing is going to work for you or not, regardless of what other people are saying. One way to know that you don't know how to think for yourself is if you get into arguments with other people. You're still in that like convincing mode. No, my mommy is better than your mommy. My dad's stronger than your, like that sort of a vibe. Very much childish. So anytime you're engaging in behavior that someone in kindergarten would do, someone in 5th grade would do, someone in high school would do, you're still in the child consciousness. You haven't grown. You haven't integrated that childhood part of you so that you can now be grown. So number 2, make decisions and think for yourself. Okay, let's do number 3. Number 3, how to learn and how to embody. So it's the same thing. Again, this is something that I credit my own inner work, my journey, my schooling, that information is not learning. I think being on YouTube for the last 10.5 years has also helped me see this, because oftentimes the people that seem to know the most information, that are spitting it out in the comments, telling me about it, emailing me about it, seem the most disembodied. When you're embodied in something, you don't have to convince other people. You don't have to explain yourself. I shared with you guys a few months ago, I went to this dinner with some friends, and they had invited other friends that I didn't know. And there were these 2 grown women, one in her 50s, one in her 40s, arguing the entire time during this dinner, where we're just trying to have a good time and relax, and we haven't seen each other in a long time because of everything that's going on, whose diet is better. I mean, really just going at it with each other and name dropping doctors and books, and neither one of them was listening. So it's not like either one of them would be able to convince either one, and neither one of them seemed embodied in any diet at the moment. So you see how that works? When you learn and embody, you learn your embodiment do the talking. You let your energy do the talking. You don't have to convince anyone. Okay. Number 4, grown woman embodiment, how to communicate. Just because you know how to move your mouth and words come out doesn't mean you know how to communicate. You can know how to talk. 2-year-olds know how to talk. But do you know how to communicate like a grown woman? Grown woman communication and grown people communication is based on connection. So when we say things that make us disconnected, that's not communication, that's talking. Congratulations, you can do the same thing a 2-year-old can do. That is not grown woman stuff. So really learning what communication is. This has been a decade long, if not 40 years long of learning for me. So knowing this list isn't going to just automatically activate something. These are literally inner work things that you can go through. And you guys know I have programs for all of this stuff, but the one program I would say that has all of these things would probably be the Self-Aware Barbie Activated. And number 2 closest with all of these would be, well, some are, the fitness part is in the Self-Aware Barbie Activated, but the Sacred Feminine Intensive. So this is serious inner work. This isn't like, yay, I got another 10 list and now I'm going to go watch another video, right? Okay, so 5 grown woman must-haves, must-knows is finances, how money works. Because money is something that collectively we have given very much importance to. And remember when the 100 monkey study shows that by the time the 100th someone, human species, monkey species, whatever, the 100th person knows it, everyone knows it. So this is a quite fascinating study that they taught one monkey how to do something, a second monkey learned from watching the first monkey, a third monkey learned from watching those 2 monkeys. By the time that the 100 monkey had picked up on that skill set, other monkeys on other islands that could not see those monkeys at all also knew how to do that, which means that by the time it was embodied in the 100th monkey, it became in the collective consciousness. So in the human collective consciousness, we very much value the energy of money. We give it great importance. We sacrifice ourselves, our lives, our health, our families, our fun, our desires for money. So it's an important thing, right? And I love money. I have a healthy relationship with money that I've spent the last 40 years cultivating, but just knowing how money works, how the feminine aspects of money work, the calling it in, the being able to feel worthy for it, being able to manifest it, and then the masculine principles of getting it to work for you, putting it to work, assigning roles to money, and knowing how to manage money. That's the masculine, the divine masculine. So knowing how money works. And by the way, speaking of that, you guys know I'm having a 3-part series called 7-Figure Babes. If you follow my money channel, you know this. I'm having a 3-part masterclass series in the CEO Boss Queen program. It's called 7-Figure Babes. It's going to be over 4.5 hours of content on scaling to 6 figures, and then scaling to 6-figure months, and then scaling to 7-figure, multiple 7 figures a year. So that's happening August 9th. And so I'm reopening the card for the CEO Boss Queen between now and August 8th. You can still sign up for the CEO Boss Queen. Now, here is where the deal gets extra sweet. For those of you guys that sign up by midnight tonight, today is August 2nd, by midnight tonight, you get my $1 Million Babe money course as an absolute bonus. So that's over $2,000 worth of a course as a bonus if you sign up today by midnight. So if this has been calling to you, now is the time to sign up. There's a payment plan available. And so I'm super, super excited for you guys. So that's linked in the description box. And I'll also put it in the chat and the comments. Okay, so number 1 was set boundaries. 2 was make decisions, think for yourself. Number 3 was how to learn and embody. Number 4 was how to communicate, really communicate, not just talk. 5 was finances, both the masculine and the feminine aspects of it. Number 6 is how to manifest, how energy works, how we take unmanifest reality and turn it into form. That's how energy works. That's how manifestations work. So manifestations are just taking unmanifest reality and turning it into form. How that works, the process of that. Very important if you want to have a human experience here, wouldn't you say? Yes, finance is my focus right now. Beautiful, Heather. Beautiful. That's so true. Each one of these is a journey that takes time, patience, self-awareness, and grace. Yes. Beautiful. Okay, wonderful. So let's keep going. Number 7 is how feminine and masculine energies work. So how they work within you, how to use which in which domain, how to heal your wounded masculine, wounded feminine, so that you can really create from both aspects. Most of us on autopilot, especially women in the Western world, we've been functioning very much in the masculine energy. And then when we learn feminine energy, it's like, oh, we discovered we have legs, so let's cut off our arms. That's what I sense a lot of people doing, where they start disowning their masculine. But think of it this way. Any creation, whether you're creating a world or creating a baby, creating a business, or creating a beautiful life, requires both masculine and feminine energies. So just because you discovered you have legs, you don't have to cut off your arms. It's nice to have both. Really, it's nice to have both. So knowing how to use your divine masculine and how to use your divine feminine and how to use it in a way that doesn't burn you out, that doesn't, require a lot of mental fatigue or decision making. You can do it in an effortless, fluid way. Of course, this takes time. It's been a journey for me as well. And but that's something that I would highly recommend that you take time to learn. Number 8, grown woman must embodies are how your body works, how fitness works, how nutrition works, and how to create. I would also rename this how to create health. Health is our natural state, and we're doing a lot of things that actually hinder health, right? Like take us in the opposite direction. But just going back to what is my natural state? I had health, I have access to health, I have access to well-being, and knowing how this human, third dimension vehicle works, how nutrition works, how fitness works. This has been a journey for me. I think my autoimmune disease that I had called rheumatoid arthritis, I no longer have it. I haven't had it in 6-7 years, if not longer. But I think that because if it wasn't for that burning fire to cure myself, to heal myself, I did not want to end up like my family members, like my mom, who died from cancer in her 40s. I didn't want that life. I had my kids a little bit later in life than my mother did. And that was a big motivator for me to be healthy and healed for my kids. So that made me learn nutrition and fitness. Number 9, grown woman embodiment and must knows is how to process your emotions. So another way of saying this is having emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is not about hot potatoing your emotions on someone else. How do we hot potato our emotions to someone else? When we say things like, you made me feel angry. No one can make you feel anything. You are feeling angry, right? When we take other people's emotions to mean something about our worthiness, that's not emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence comes in many layers. One of the most important things that I've learned about emotional intelligence, there's many, but this is kind of the one that I would say maybe changed my life the most, was reducing the time it takes me to process an emotion and getting back into a high vibe state, not through spiritual bypassing, not through saying I'm going to ignore this feeling, but through actually learning it to process it, release it, transmute it, alchemize it, and then go back to how I naturally feel. My natural state before, my set point, my the place that I return to normally, like my normal frequency before, was worry and fear. That was like the massive thing. If I was left on my own, that's what I would just return to every single time. No matter what amazing thing happened, you best believe I was back at that state within minutes. That was my natural set point for emotions. Now my natural set point for emotions is bliss. it's peace, it's joy. So no matter what happens, the worst of the worst thing, I know how to process it, work through it, alchemize it, transmute the thing, and go back to my natural state. So no matter what happens, seconds later, I'm back to bliss. But that took time. It took inner work. It took dedication. It took focus. It took a massive decision that I get to be happy and I decide to be happy. Okay. Number 5 is relationship dynamics, how polarity works. This is an important one because to the divine feminine, relationships are important. They are at the core and foundation of who we are. Relationships mean a lot to us. And because they mean a lot, we invest a lot of time thinking about them, a lot of energy chasing them, a lot of wanting, a lot of desiring, but we don't know how they work. It's kind of like money, like we want it, but we're afraid of it. We don't know what to do with it. And so really finally learning relationship dynamics was a huge one for me. That was the last kind of piece of the puzzle for me. I learned everything else before I got to this, but relationship dynamics has been one of the most life-changing grown woman kind of transmissions for me. So those are the 10. Let me see what you guys are saying. Answer any questions. So where are you? Which one do you need to work on next? Which one do you need to embody next? Which course do you recommend for someone with panic attacks? Oh, that used to be me. I used to have panic attacks all the time in my 20s. Sacred Feminine Intensive is what I would recommend for that. And then move on to Aligned as Femme if you still need anyone. But definitely, I would say Sacred Feminine Intensive. What kind of inner work needed to gain emotional intelligence? Definitely start with the basic babe bundle. All inner work is moving you to emotional intelligence. So here's what I want you to know. Emotional intelligence is your normal state. So when a child is born, and if you don't mess with that child, if you don't squeeze that child, if you don't condition that child knows emotional intelligence just normally. Look at how toddlers are. When they have something happen to them, they have a little moment, they release the thing, and then they go back about their daily life and their business, right? 2 kids on the playground, 2 toddlers can have a little argument or a little fight or a little like cry moment, and then 2 minutes later, they go back to playing together, right? So because naturally we know emotional intelligence. So the question for adults isn't how to learn something, it's how to unlearn the thing that's blocking your natural intelligence, your natural way of being for that thing. So emotional intelligence isn't something you add on, it's something that you remove. Lots of something that you remove through inner work. Mina, which course is best for learning to manifest and expanding your container? So I have law of attraction, inner work, manifesting is like my jam. I've been doing it for 15 years. It's like, it's probably the one thing that my legacy will be known for. I love this damn work so much. So it's in a lot of my programs, but the one that will help you the most, I would say just get started right off the bat. All of them, but you could start with a Millionairess if you want to just do inner work around money first and then expand it. You can start with the money course. You can also start with this is a lower priced item. It's $1 Million Babe Manifesting course, Manifesting Babes. So people ask me, what's the difference between the $1 Million Babes Manifesting course and the $1 Million Babe Money course? The Manifesting course has money work in it, but it's about all manifesting techniques that you can use. You can use one from there. You can use all of them. You can use a combination of 2, whatever, right? Then the money course is deep inner work and container expansion around money. And once you've done it around money, you can use that same inner work and container expansion in any area of your life. It creates this beautiful ripple effect. You don't have to feel like I used it here, but now I don't know what to do here. You can use the same process in all areas. I'm wondering if the boundary thing is common with projectors. fellow projector. Welcome, Aqua. So I think the boundary thing is a female thing. It's in women are really bad with boundaries. Projectors are especially bad, and I'm a projector, so I say this with love. Projectors are bad with other people's boundaries. Like when I thought I didn't have any boundaries or people weren't honoring my boundaries, I wasn't honoring other people's boundaries without realizing it. And definitely, it's kind of embarrassing to say that, and definitely not honoring mine. So yes, join us in our Aqua. Are you in the Divine Feminine Human Design course? We have a class today, actually, by the way. We have our third live class today in there. So we've been working on this stuff. Hi, Misty. I haven't seen you in a while. I was just thinking about you 2 days ago, and here you are. She said both programs are amazing. Misty has all of my programs, I think, at this point. Awesome. Thank you so much. Oh my God, yes, I am a projector and such a boundary violator, Victoria said. Thank you for being honest about that. And I say this with love because it's kind of embarrassing. I'm embarrassed of this. I'm just going to say it. Like all those years when I thought people weren't honoring my boundaries, oh my God, I was the one not honoring theirs, like giving unsolicited advice, making comments that now, like that I think about that, I'm like, oh my God, Mina, that was so rude. Right. And so, yeah, that's very much a projector thing. I have a couple of conditioned projectors in my life, and they're so annoying. They give you such rude, unsolicited advice, but I try to have compassion because I used to be that person. I'm so embarrassed. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Smile, for the super chat. Thank you for the quantum leaping. Thank you for quantum leaping the feminine. Thank you, babe. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. I especially love the 1111. Thank you. Shira said, I just learned I'm a projector. When you would describe yourself, I would always think you sounded like me. Yes, 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 yes. So projectors and burned out generators are pretty much the same. So when generators message me saying, Mina, I'm a generator, but everything you say resonates with me, I feel like I'm a projector. You're a burned out generator. Especially if you have certain channels in your chart. We have someone like that in the group today in the Divine Feminine Human Design course. She sent me her chart and I'm going to be analyzing it. She's a generator who feels very much like a projector. I immediately pulled her chart and I'm like, oh, she's got several of the projector's channels and she's completely open like a projector. So she's a generator empath that has projector channels. So I'm like, no wonder she feels like a projector, but she's a generator. I'm a burned out manifesting generator. Yes, a lot of burnout in the female consciousness these days, ladies. That's what we're healing right now. That's what all the changes that are happening in the world. We're being sent back home alone to rethink things, to rewire the world, to rewire ourselves. So yes, a lot of change happening in the collective. Mina, I'm also a projector and totally violate boundaries. I hadn't realized I do it till you said it. Yes. Number one sign is you think other people are violating your boundaries. That's a big one. People pleasing is violating other people's boundaries. Nice girl syndrome is violating other people's boundaries. So being really nice to people, doing things for people that didn't ask for is violating other people's boundaries. Giving unsolicited advice is really breaking someone's boundaries. I went to this group lunch a couple of years ago, and it was all with my friends, and there were some new people there. And one of my projector friends said something really rude about my other friend, disguised as giving her advice. And I'm like, you don't even know her. Like, you're a grown woman, like in your 50s, like seriously. And I could tell my other friend was like really embarrassed by I think a lot of projectors don't realize that we already have a very penetrating aura. We have a very masculine aura. So when we come and give unsolicited advice to people, it feels very rapey to the other person. Because think about it, penetrating masculine aura, not invited, penetrating you. What is that? That's rape consciousness. that's how it feels to other people. So when I learned this, like I had to really like release this. Like I had to like go inwards and really do inner work and realize why I had pushed certain people away in my life. And oh my God, so much inner work had to be done. And that's why I really love human design in this aspect, that it like forces you to be like, oh my God, like how are other people receiving my energy? I'm a generator and I always thought people violated my boundaries. That's so interesting. So, are you, one reason could be you are surrounded by projectors, and projectors just love giving generators advice and guiding them unsolicited. So, got to be careful with that. And secondly, I would journal. The journal prompt for you would be, where in my life am I violating other people's boundaries, right? So manipulating behavior, like being nice so other people will like me, sacrificing myself so other people will like me, that's a violation of someone else's boundaries. That's violating someone else's boundary. I can just talk about boundaries, I think, for days, because there's been such a deep inner work for me that I've had to do. I'm very passionate about that. Okay. Yeah. Yes, you're doing good, Olga. That's a good sign. That means you're energetically no longer available for that thing, and you're not violating anyone else's boundaries. So you're like literally not available for that anymore. Like you've evolved past that. I'm proud of you. Boundaries is a hard one for women. We have all been raised to be good girls, nice girls that do the right thing, that say the right thing, right? And so that can be tough. It's very much in the feminine collective consciousness. It's hard. I struggled with that. That one was one I really struggled with because I didn't want to seem like a rude person. I wanted to be a good girl, right? Yes. Okay. Watch my How to Surrender and Let Go of Control video, Abigail. Thank you, Jasmina. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. And so, ladies, for those of you guys that have been interested in the CEO Boss Queen and the money course, now's the time to sign up. By the way, if you already have the money course and you still sign up for the CEO Boss Queen and you want to still get a bonus if you sign up before midnight tonight, you can email my team and they'll replace the money course with another course of equal value for you, like maybe the Divine Union. Nicole said, I was a huge boundary breaker. When I learned about your work, I was so glad to drop that mentality. It was exhausting. It is, Nicole. It is. Oh my God, yes. So one of the things that I've learned through inner work is that when I do inner work and I create space, like I have full, what's the word I'm looking for? Like full access to my own life force energy, because being something that you are not, trying to be a nice girl when nice is not it's not the only flavor in our toolbox, right? It's not even one of the core main ones. Like the main three foundational flavors for the divine feminine, which I've taught you guys in several of my programs, is mother energy, goddess energy, and sexkin energy. And then all three of those have other flavors. So nice girl isn't even a flavor. It's not even a foundational like core thing. In fact, the energy of nice is quite manipulative. It's like, I will do this for this. It's a very much transactional. Be kind instead, right? Nice is a decision that we choose to make at certain times. It's a very manipulative kind of a vibe. Kindness is just a core embodiment. It's a value, something we can choose to rest in all the time. I used to pride myself on being all things to all people. Ugh, it feels so gross to me now. Yeah, we live and learn, babe. Yes, I know what you mean. We learned a lot of that from our mothers. and our grandmothers, the sacrificers, right? And especially if you are, I feel this is really prominent in like the immigrant community, right? Like you sacrifice yourself, you stay silent, even though you're brewing inside and you're dying in resentment, but you act nice and you're the good girl and you do the thing. Welcome, Linda. Hi, Tasha. Let me see. How do I stop myself from constantly giving unsolicited advice to 16, 19, and 22-year-olds? So D, go back to your own childhood and think about when your parents or a teacher or someone gave you advice that they weren't embodied in. What did you think? Did you follow their advice? So I just naturally, I didn't know this work when I was a teenager or a child, but I naturally discarded advice from people that weren't embodied in what they were teaching me, even when it was really good advice. So I had a client, I think this was last year, she said on a session, she was like, Mina, can I ask you something personal? And she goes, from what you say about your mother, she's like, it seemed like your mother gave you really good advice. She's like, can I ask you why you didn't listen? And immediately I was like, yeah, because she was a hot mess. Like, even though her advice was gold, I know this now, and thank God for her. She was such a hot mess in her own embodiment. She's telling me to work out and eat healthy when she's like 50 pounds overweight, right? She's telling me to live for myself and create, not worry about other people when she's sacrificing her life for like 30 other people. Like, it didn't make any sense. Unconsciously, subconsciously, I'm looking at her going, babe, you got nothing I want. I'm just going to plug my ears and not listen to you, even though it was good and valid advice. Because I know this, I never advise my kids about anything that I'm not embodied in. And because I'm already embodied in it, I don't have to go unsolicited. My kids follow me around, especially my two boys. They follow me around saying, Mom, what do you think of this and this and this? What would you advise about this? This is what I heard on YouTube. What do you feel about this? Constantly, all the time. I asked my oldest son a few years ago, I said, most teenagers don't want anything to do with their parents' advice. And I'm so honored, and I would like to learn more about why you value my opinion so much. He's like, because you are the happiest, most successful person that I know. He's like, you're so peaceful, you're so calm, you are in the best relationship that I've ever seen. You enjoy what you do. He's like, I want to be like you. So tell me everything. Tell me everything. And so that's when I knew I had broken a generational curse. That's when I knew that to me is winning. That's my biggest manifestation. My biggest manifestation is my family, is the fact that the way that we are with each other. Like, I feel like I live with my best friends. I don't know how I created this, but this beautiful paradigm, thank you, God, where it's like one long, beautiful pajama party with my 4 best friends. That's how my life feels. That is taking unmanifest reality and turning it into form. It's so beautiful. I love it. Like, I wake up every morning thinking, oh my God, like, this is my life. I'm living in Barbie's dream house with the man of my dreams and my 3 best friends that happen to call me mommy. Like, what? That's turning unmanifest reality into form. That's everything. Wow, that's amazing, Mina. It must be a joy to come home to your children. Yes, and stay home to my children. Yes. Yes, that to me that's manifestation. That's life. I get to have it all, and so do you. Why am I on here telling you guys about it? Because I didn't have anyone that had it all in the way that I have it all to even look at. I had to be the first in my world. And quite frankly, in my world, Irfan and I are still the only ones. Like, we hope that we inspire people. Many of our friends and family members say that we do. And we trigger people as well, but it gives other people hope that they can have it all, that you don't have to sacrifice your health to have abundance. You don't have to sacrifice your love to have kids. Like, you get to have it all. You do get to have it all. Was your mom a projector too? Lioness, I wonder. I don't know. I believe that she was a generator. I'm not sure. I believe my dad was a projector, my mom was a generator. I wouldn't really know though, because any people that would be able to tell me about their time of death have passed on now. My parents are no longer alive as well. But I guessed that that's what they were. I definitely think that my dad was a projector. He was so burnt out. He was so burnt out. He felt so unseen. And he was a man. And I believe in certain ways it can be harder to be a male projector because of certain things that we hold in society. By the way, harder but not impossible. Guess who is a projector? So one of my clients recently told me this, and it blew my mind. Jeff Bezos is a freaking projector. Jeff Bezos. Do you see what he's created? Success is guaranteed for us. As long as we keep that zoomed out view and we wait for invitations, divine invitations, we become the invitation, not wait, become the invitation. Like I say, Jeff Bezos was not sitting around waiting for invitation. He is freaking invitation. He is an invitation, right? He's magnetic. So that was like, whoa. I was like, really? Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, Barack Obama is also a projector. That's why if you see his pictures when he took office and when he took, like, it looks like he aged 20 years during that time, because projectors are not meant to work the way the presidents are required to work. We just don't. Mina, I never knew I could have it all until I discovered you. Oh my goodness, Linda, you definitely can have it all. And so this is why I do this, ladies. This is why I show up. This is why I'm like, let me show up and talk about the stuff, because I didn't have anyone that had it all. I had people in my life that had money, that desperately wanted love, but they couldn't get love. I had people in my life that had love, that desperately wanted money, but they couldn't have money, or they couldn't have kids. Like they felt like energetically that they had to sacrifice this, and this, and then they get to have that one thing. I want it all, because a full, abundant life to me is where I'm spiritually awake. I'm healthy to enjoy all my manifestations. I have someone that loves doing life with me, my partner, my soulmate. I have that. I want beautiful, healthy kids. I want to experience motherhood. I want motherhood to evolve into friendship with my kids. I want to have that best, like my family feels like best friends to me. My kids are my best friends. My husband's my best friend. It's one long extended pajama party to me. And I also wanted money, because all of these things that I'm enjoying with my family just becomes easier when you have money. The fact that I can sit here and talk to you guys and abundantly give from my heart is because I have money. If I didn't have money, I would be working somewhere 9 to 5. I wouldn't be here sharing my gifts. So do you see how it works? Like it all just vibes together. Those are my top 4 or 5 values, and I get to have it all. Speaking it daily now, I get to win at everything. Thank you so much, Mina. You have been giving out the tools to change my life. You're welcome, babe. I'm so proud of you guys for showing up and doing the inner work. I get it. It's not the easiest thing on the planet. It can be fun, but the first couple of years of inner work can be hard, because you have to see things that your subconscious has buried deep down for a good reason. It's painful sometimes to bring that stuff up, but we must. We must. I get to have it all. Absolutely. Absolutely. So someone asked, what are projectors and generators? So we're talking about human design, babe. I'm not going to get into it here. I've talked about it in other videos. I have a whole course called the Divine Feminine Human Design. It used to be called the Aligned Projector, by the way. I changed the name because we have all types in there now. So you can learn more about that there. You can Google it afterwards and learn more about it. Hi, Mina. If you were single or your husband was not a provider, do you feel like you'd be able to live in your calling like you are today? No, because I was single. I was a single mom for 4 years, and I was in survival. I was making good money, but that was hard, right? Being a single mom was really difficult, doing it all by myself. That's why I intentionally called in a provider. There was no way that I would be able to Personally, I don't think I'd be able to. Now, I do know people that are living their calling and they're single women or single moms, but being a projector, we kind of need that support and that containment of a provider. That's why a lot of times projectors stay home until later. I have a projector son, and in my mind, I'm already kind of prepared that he's going to be at home longer. I'm going to need to support him through certain things. Projectors are guaranteed success, but it takes us time to heal. It takes us time to master our craft. I don't think the way that my life basically, let me say it this way. My husband is a very important part of my journey. Very important part. I give him credit for that. I'm not self-made. I think a lot of women like men and women love the whole concept of self-made. But at the end of the day, the universe has supported me. God has supported me. Angels have supported me. My ancestors have supported me. I've had friends and family members that have offered me emotional support. And my husband has been a pillar, a foundational support system for me. He gave me, for the first time in my life, the safe place to actually heal. Those 9 years where I was just a stay-at-home mom and he just provided and I lived within that container, oh my, that's the reason that I'm here today. I believe that's the reason that I'm alive. He is an important part. How do we change our beliefs that money and kids are stressful? That's a limiting belief, so choose another core belief. So go into the Basic Babe bundle, and in the High Vibe program in there, I have a 6-step process for changing your beliefs. Change that belief. Use that system, change your belief. All right. You are right, Mina. I am now cutting on advising family members. I say to myself, not my monkeys, not my problem. I do set time to hear them out when they are distressed. You are an abundance desk, pure, pure gold. Stay blessed always, Mina. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Beautiful. Ashwarya, I already have a video on that, babe, on my son overcoming a speech delay. You can watch that. You guys can Google human design chart and plug in your information and learn what you are. Everyone gets to have it all. You have to decide that you get to have it on. That's not a projector thing. It's not a generator. It's a human being thing. It's a God consciousness thing. Hi, Manira. What if you don't have support from friends or family members? How do you find genuine connection and support? So I actually didn't have support from family and friends for most of my life. And so that's why I found support from guides and angels and God first. Now I feel very much supported by my husband and my kids. But if I was looking at the outside trying to find something, I wouldn't be where I am. My parents were drowning themselves. They weren't in a place to be able to support kids. They weren't. Same thing with my extended family members. Like basically everyone was drowning. Like you were on your own. So I didn't have that. I've created that now because I've decided I get to have that. And my husband and my kids are my best friends. They're my foundation. Like I've realized in my life that the only people that genuinely mean me well, like that love me unconditionally, the kind of love that every person deep down inside their soul desires, I have received from my husband and my children. My husband, he gave me the kind of unconditional love that I desired that I didn't even think was possible. The things that I wanted from my parents, he gave me. The things that I wanted from the romantic partner, he gave me. The thing that I desired from my best friend, he gave me. The thing that I desired in a life partner, he gave me. We did that for each other. It was a journey. It wasn't easy. We both came in with the massive wounds. Of course, you always attract your reciprocal. Because I was wounded coming into this marriage, so was he. We had to heal each other. This channel is my support as well as my spiritual practice. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Heather. I feel very much supported by your energy as well, Heather. I really do. All of your lovely comments, your support, it means the world to me. Hi, Doria. She said, I'm learning so much from you. Thank you for highlighting that. I do need to work on myself more to get to that level. We learn and grow. Absolutely. Most people on the planet are drowning themselves. Energetically, emotionally, they're not in a place to be able to support you. Thank you, Marita. Me too. I feel Mina's videos are so spiritual and a key part of my weekly remote routine. Oh my goodness, you guys, gonna make me cry. Thank you so much. That's why I show up, ladies. This is my giving back to the collective, because this is the information I wish I had at that time. But that's okay. We arrived here anyways, and now you get to have it. You get to have it. Mina, did your husband do all this consciously, like love unconditionally? Some of it was conscious, some was unconscious, like every human being. Some things we had to work on, some things we had to. That's why I believe in growing in love. You know, I think people think love is this one-time event. It's not. It's not a one-time event. And how boring would life be if it was? Love is a daily decision. It's a daily practice. We practice intentionally love every day. We practice love. It's not this like one-time thing that you have when you're dating and then that's it. You're going to grow in love for the rest of your life. And that's the beautiful part of marriage. Thank you so much, Healing Light, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes. Thank you. I have found myself spending more time at home since doing inner work. Oh, yeah, that's such a normal stage. I did that too. I don't miss others at all. Not that I don't like my friends. I just don't need them right now. Is that common? Very. That a whole very important part of inner work is solitude. It's by yourself. Doesn't mean you can't do it when you're living with other people. I did it with 3 kids and a hubby, and all kinds of people calling me for fires and all kinds of stuff. But it was very much an energetic, I need to save myself first. I need to do this first. And then from my overflow, I can give. I agree, everyone. I'm glad that you answered your calling to do this work. You've impacted my life in so many ways. Thank you, Nicole. Love it. Thank you. So one of the interesting things that Irfan said to me when we first were seeing each other, actually after we were engaged, I found it really interesting. He said this. It didn't make any sense to me at the time. Let me tell you this, and then you're going to be creeped out by it. I think we were like, we were just engaged, and he said that I believe we were meant to come together to help other people overcome relationships or relationship like trauma or something. And I didn't respond because I was like, But how weird has that panned out, right? The whole thing just sounds weird to me because it wasn't his desire to go on YouTube and help people. So it's just bizarre that he would make that random comment to me like a month into our relationship. Is that weird or what, right? Thank you so much for everything you do, Mina. My husband constantly tells me how much he has seen a positive change in me. He doesn't know about the inner work. I love it. Isn't that great? Like the first phase is when you start noticing changes. The second phase is when other people start noticing it. So I'm so happy for you. That just shows your own embodiment. I love it. Love, love, love it. Beautiful. All right, ladies, I'm going to let you guys go. I have a class that I'm teaching in the Divine Feminine Human Design training course in the live mastermind later today. So I'm just going to kind of recoup my energy, do a little bit of meditation. I love you guys so much. Remember, CEO Boss Queen is open until August 8th. August 9th, we're starting a new live sessions in there called 7-Figure Babes. It's going to be over 4.5 hours of life-changing, paradigm-shifting, money manifestation, spiritual business growth work that creates a ripple effect in all areas of your life. So that's available to all previous students of the CEO Boss Queen and all students starting August 9th. So you can sign up for that by up until August 8th. If you sign up by midnight tonight, which is August 2nd to 2021, you get the money course for free. It's a bonus. I know, I can't even believe that we're doing this. It's crazy. It's a no-brainer. Like, now is the time to sign up. The link is in the description box. If you guys have any questions, you can email my team at theuniverseguru@gmail.com. Love you guys. Bye. It's for any business, Joni. Any type of business that you want to run with your divine feminine and divine masculine. You want to run it with ease and flow and keeping your own divinity and spirituality in line. So it doesn't have to be a spiritual business, but you want to do it not through hustling, not through killing yourself, not through destroying some other area, but through full alignment. All right. Love you guys. Bye.